Hello, Buddhas. Today, we are going to be asking the question, why does it have to happen so damn quick? Now, Buddhas, before we get started, I wanted to let you all know that I've got a playlist with about 150 YouTube videos that I have made for this channel, linked down below. If you watch that entire playlist, you will have a spiritual awakening. So let's go. Now, really ask yourself the question, why do you expect it to happen so fast? There are so many examples that I'm starting to pick up on in my life where I'm expecting things to change instantaneously as soon as I learn about them. So we create our entire reality from our own existence. Big frickin' deal. What would happen if I actually suddenly had the ability to be completely in charge of that consciously? Well, to be completely frank with all of you, probably nothing good, because I haven't had the opportunity to really practice and to fully understand what I'm doing. This is all feeling our way in the dark. And that's what's so beautiful about this process, and what I'm starting to really fall in love with, is the understanding that every single thing that's happened has happened for a reason. So when you're making these goals, and you're saying, okay, I'm gonna get the car, right? The car is that next step. I gotta get a car so that I can have some of that mobility. Well, unless you specifically then have the urge to, oh, I got the money and go out and buy it, you've got to give it an opportunity to vest a little bit. You've got to give that goal the opportunity to grow. So I have planted the seed now that I have a car, and I'm just patiently waiting for the right opportunities, not for it to fall out of the sky, right? Like, that's not what this is about. But I am patiently waiting for the right opportunity and the right time where when I will need the car, I will have the car. And I have the faith that that is the case. I don't need the car this exact second. There's nowhere I can go, and there's nothing that I can do because the entire world is still in silliness. So, this is a great opportunity for me to desire the car and realize that the car is coming. But it's also the right time for me to sit back and appreciate what I do have, and to be happy in the moment, and to understand that the right car is coming at exactly the right time. And why I'm bringing this up is that I've really been interested and working on reality transurfing of Neville Goddard, and I just listened to Tufti the Priestess, which is an absolutely hilarious book, my little snails. And it goes through so much truth about what we're actually doing here and what's going on. At the end of the day, we have this incredible ability to do whatever comes to mind, ultimately. It may take an entire lifetime, it may take 5 minutes, but that is not up to you. Your job is to accept and realize that what you desire is coming, and that it will arrive at the appropriate time. You don't plant a corn in the ground and dig it up the next day. You understand there's a vestation, there's a germination, there's a growth period where the corn is in the soil, and then it sprouts, and then it's got stalks, and then you can harvest them at a later date. And we have really gotten quite good at harvesting food and harvesting plants and materials on this planet, and we understand that that takes time and energy to do. But we get so short-sighted when it comes to our own thoughts and our own goals and our own beliefs that we want something, immediately recognize that we don't have it, so we give up. And I think a big part of this, not to lay blame, but to understand where this impatience comes from, is due to the immediate gratification of our technology. And I say technology overall because I can demonize a specific social media platform, but its existence is not the problem. I can demonize a specific style of video and a specific place in North America that makes videos, but their existence is not the problem. What ends up happening is we'll watch a video, let's say it's a 2-hour movie, okay, as an example. Having grown up watching movies and TV, our generation, the 20-someths, the people born in the 80s, 90s, had this as a part of our life. can't even imagine what the kids born in the 2000s are going through right now. We were given these beautiful stories on film where something that will take months or a year to transpire happens in 2 hours. And we expect that, oh, if it doesn't happen immediately, then I'm a failure. Well, no. The movie Iron Man is one that really comes to mind right now. And it starts off with him getting kidnapped and trapped in a cave. And I think that whole sequence may be the first 20 minutes or half hour of the movie. They really do spend a fair amount of time there building that character. But I believe if we refer to the proper canon and timology, that he's there for months, if not over a year, right? And we're witnessing him literally going from dying with shrapnel in his heart to escaping in a flying suit of armor. Okay, there's a big amount of difference there. Now, he's a super genius, and we all have that ability, but ultimately, we're going from 6 months, let's call it, of Tony building armor to a half hour at most sequence in a movie that is fast-paced and action-derived and has a couple really hot action sequences in it. We're not seeing the nitty-gritty, the work, the sitting down, the thinking, the pondering, the sitting there doing literally nothing for an entire day, thinking about how to solve one individual problem. Okay? We're seeing the flashy cool and then results, because it's a movie. You don't want to spend $20 and have to sit in a movie theater for 6 months. Now, that would be an interesting social experiment, but at the end of the day, you're there to be entertained and to learn things and to enjoy yourself. But I believe that for me personally, growing up with this content and not fully understanding the ramifications of time, which I still don't fully understand, but what I'm trying to get at, I guess, Buddhas, is the essence that our perception of our inability to do things can be greatly skewed by what we see on the outside screen, what we see in the news, what we see in the movies and on social media, etc. Because they're telling a story of something that's already done. And at some point, if you put in the work, a story will be made of what's already done for you. And that's a beautiful thing to consider manifesting. And actually, it's a technique that I'm going to talk about in another video. But you don't see the Jeff Bezoses who spent 20 years working out of a garage. You don't see the Elon Musks who rotated sleep schedules with his brother in an office 24 hours a day in order to build the first company. You don't see the sacrifice and the hard work. Yeah, they'll talk about it at some point, but it's really hard to relate. And then you see, oh my God, these incredible people are doing incredible things and I'm a failure. But you're not. You're exactly where they were at one point. And Earl Nightingale said one time, and I believe that this is true, if you spend 1 hour every day for 5 years on a specific field of endeavor or on a specific journey, for me it's personal development and spirituality at the moment, but if you spend 1 hour a day, you can even skip weekends, you will become the #1 person at that thing in the world. And he said that probably 50 or 60 years ago. And I believe that it is still 100% true. Because the compound effect works. And Buddhas, if you can appreciate the little itty bitty tiny miniscopic little wins and the gains and just recognize every single day that you are making progress towards a worthy ideal, towards yourself, towards even figuring out what that is, then Buddhas, you've already got it. So stick in there, watch the playlist down below, hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoy this kind of content, share it with your friends so we can get Buddha Billionaire to 1 billion people. And remember, Buddhas, at the end of the day, what is the most important thing? To love yourself.